The first round of the college football playoff has concluded, and as this is a 12-team college football playoff, the first ever 12-team college football playoff, and not a 4-team playoff, we still have 8 teams left. So what I am going to do in kind of a blitz fashion is going to rank these teams in order from who I think is the worst to the best. We're going to start off with number 8 and then finish off with number 1. This will give you all an idea of my bracket picks, which will release soon. So with the context of that, for my remaining bracket picks, please like the video to help us get into the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you can join the awesome College Football with Sam community and get notified when my bracket predictions drop, when I go live to do play-by-play and color commentary for the quarterfinal games and all the remaining college football playoff games, and also when we do previews and predictions and reactions and all the awesome content on here that you won't want to miss. So let's start off and talk about Boise State, who I think is the worst remaining college football playoff team. They have a 12-1 record, 8-0. They're coming off of a bye. They're playing Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. That is on December 31st, New Year's Eve. They're strong at running back, center, guard, defensive end, and linebacker. Obviously, Ashton Jeanty is their X-Factor player. He is their alien, in fact. Not just an X-Factor player, an alien, a unicorn. And I really like Boise State. I actually think they can give Penn State some issues on New Year's Eve in the Fiesta Bowl and potentially win it. And at that point, already Boise State's kind of the Cinderella story of this whole thing. But they're weak at quarterback. I think Matt O'Madsen holds them back. I think at points on their defense, whether it's defensive tackle or corner or safety, really secondary overall, and also Eric Chenander, or defensive coordinator, I think would even be considered a weakness, and special teams. They have enough holes and limitations to where I think it's very likely Penn State beats them on New Year's Eve, and even if they somehow beat Penn State, I think their path to the national championship is very slim. I think they're the worst team remaining in the playoffs. Arizona State is number 7. They're the 7th best team remaining in the playoffs, so second worst. Record of 11-2, 7-2. This in Boise State should show you that the buys are a little bit broken, because I think that Penn State and Texas, in my opinion, or maybe even if you want to make the argument Ohio State, because they played a tougher schedule than those two, deserved a bye. I think buys should be done, if at all, because I really don't like them, but if they're going to be done at all, they should be done by highest ranked teams. It should not be conference auto bids. I understood the intention. I did, but I don't think it's a good system here. Nonetheless, I like Kenny Dillingham and Marcus Arroyo. I think the staff there is good. I like their quarterback, Sam Leavitt. I think that running back Cam Scatabo is very impressive, and I think that their offensive tackle room, I think that linebacker, and I think that safety are good places for them. I love the offense that Arizona State provides, but they're weak on the defensive line. They have some holes at other positions, like tight end, for example. Their special teams are pretty bad too. And like Boise State, they have a lot of limitations. They're ahead of Boise State because they've played tougher competition, and they also have better QB play, and I think their roster all around is more well-rounded. They don't have the same caliber of unicorn, though, that Jeanty does. I mean, Scadabo's good. He is probably an alien in his own right, or close, but not quite Jeanty level. I think that Texas will likely beat Arizona State pretty convincingly, and even if they somehow beat Texas, playing Ohio State or Oregon will be very challenging for this team in the Cotton Bowl. Number 6 is Notre Dame. And there's a big jump, by the way, from 8-7 to number 6. So even though Notre Dame is the third worst in my ratings, they're much closer to number 1 than they are to number 6. Or number 7. So keep that in mind. They have a 12-1 record. Their strengths are running back with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. At center and guard, the interior of that O-line, Pat Coogan, Billy Scruath, and Rocco Spindler is very impressive. Also got to remember Xavier Watts at safety, and their corner room is good. Notre Dame's issues, I think, surround special teams, a little bit of fundamentals here and there. You see that in their success rate, which is not even top 10 on offense, despite their high scores. And on defense, it could be better. And at wide receiver, they have some inconsistency. And at defensive end, I think that with what they got in the portal with, let's say, R.J. Oben, they wanted more. But This is a good team. This is an elite team relative to this season. As of prior seasons, I don't know about that, but that's the case with every team, not just Notre Dame. So the Irish occupy the sixth best team, in my opinion, remaining in the college football playoff. They have a really good shot at beating Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. And if they beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, they can be the winner of the Orange Bowl and perhaps win it all. I think Notre Dame is the first team on this list with the potential to win it all. Fifth is Texas. Texas would be higher here if Quinn Ewers showed an ounce of consistency, which he doesn't, and potentially as well if they didn't all of a sudden have injury concerns after that Clemson game. Texas is a 12-2 record, 7-1 in SEC play. Their strengths are offensive tackle with Cameron Williams, who I hope and pray gets healthy, and also Kelvin Banks Jr., who's viewed by many in the NFL as the best offensive tackle. At D tackle, they have, Bill Norton. They have Alfred Collins, Vernon Broughton also at DN, though, more so. Very good D-line. Linebacker's impressive. Corner with Jahdae Barron is impressive. And Michael Taffe is good at safety. I think Quinn Ewers at this point, though, is a weakness. And so is Arch Manning, actually, when you consider how he's looked in some games that he's played in. Running back's a weakness, too, even without the injuries. They have a lot of speed there, but they don't have much consistency. And special teams has been very confusing this year, much worse than last year's unit, which was among one of the better special teams units in the country. At fourth, we have the Georgia Bulldogs. Kind of skipped over Texas, but in terms of their potential game result, but that's because I think they should do fairly well against Arizona State. For Georgia, 11-2 record, 6-2 in the SEC. They're SEC champions. This team deserved a bye. And thankfully they got it because of how the system works. I think they're the fourth best remaining team. They're strong at center with Jared Wilson. They are strong at guard with Dylan Fairchild and also Tate Ratledge. At D tackle, I like Nazir Stackhouse and what they've done in the interior. Linebacker and safety, I think, is a strength of this team as well. Weakness has to be QB. With Carson Beck's injury and the fact that Gunnar Stockton, a young green player, will be starting there. Wide receiver's been full of inconsistency. And I think tackle's been a bit of an issue for Georgia as well, though that may be part of, playing all the tough opponents they have, especially all the tough pass rushes and D-lines they've played all season long. I think they have a good shot to beat Notre Dame. If they beat Notre Dame, they can beat the winner of Penn State, Boise State in the Orange Bowl. And they have Kirby Smart, so come on, guys. They can win the national championship. This next part's interesting. I have tied for the second best team remaining in the playoffs, Ohio State. The Buckeyes have an 11-2 record, 7-2 in Big Ten Conference play. Their strengths are running back with Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, wide receiver with Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka, D-end with Jack Sawyer, linebacker with Sonny Styles and Cody Simon, and safety with Caleb Downs, Lathan Ransom, and Jordan Hancock. They're very, very impressive. However, what holds me back is their center, Carson Hinsman, guards, which have been very inconsistent. They have some all right depth there, but it's been very inconsistent. And special teams has been just straight up bad. And on top of that, they have like tackle, good in pass pro, but run blocking is just kind of is what it is. I mean, Henderson and Judkins have struggled to really be consistent because of that O-line, even with how talented they are and how talented their passing offense and defense is. So for Ohio State, the only reason they aren't clearly number 2 in my mind is because of some of those weaknesses. On the other team that's tied with them at number 2 is Penn State, who has an overall record right now of 12-2, 8-1 in Big Ten Conference play. Penn State isn't number 2 definitively because James Franklin exists and is their head coach. Wide receiver's been a major problem outside of Harrison Wallace III. And their special teams unit, much like Ohio State's, is also objectively bad. By the way, I think that Ohio State has a good chance at beating Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I very much do. And obviously for Penn State, well, they should be favored and will probably beat Boise State pretty handily in the Fiesta Bowl. Running backs Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen are strengths. Tight end Tyler Warren is a strength. Guards Olavega Ione and also Sal Wormley are strong. At D tackle with Zane Durant, Devon J. Thomas. I love that D tackle group, and it's same with D end with Abdul Carter and Denai Dennis Sutton. I'm telling you, Penn State's one of the best teams remaining in the college football playoff and college football nationally. I just think that they have one of the worst weaknesses that you can have in the sport. That being your head coach, now he manages games. And last but not least, we have the number 1 Oregon Ducks. They're 13-0, 9-0 in Big Ten play. They're strong at quarterback with Dylan Gabriel, running back with Jordan James. Tez Johnson might be the best wide receiver in the nation. Evan Stewart and Trayshawn Holden are also talented. At tight end, they got Kenyon Sadiq and Terrence Ferguson, who are athletes in their own right. At tackle, Johnny Cornelius and Josh Connerly Jr. are elite. And at defensive tackle, you got Derek Harmon, Jamari Caldwell, and I think backup Amori Washington as well. Deep in all those areas, and they have an elite ceiling there. Their weakness ultimately is guard and special teams. They've had some inconsistencies at guard, and I also think that their run defense, though I think it's more schematic, has had some issues. But Oregon is one of these teams that I look at them and they don't have many weaknesses. I think in the same way that Georgia analytically is not elite, Oregon's rushing defense is not analytically elite because of some of the teams that they have played. If strength of schedule was exclusively limited to the quality of running backs you faced, Oregon would be top 10. I mean, they've played Ginty, they've played Kalel Mullings, Donovan Edwards, they've played Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, they've played Tawi Walker, Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen, and they'll be playing Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins again New Year's Day. So I love the Oregon Ducks. I think they're the best team remaining in the college football playoff, and based off of this, maybe you have a good idea of what my bracket predictions will be when I release them soon. Maybe you don't. The best team doesn't always win the national championship, though, because matchups are key, and upsets happen. So stay tuned for my bracket predictions updated, which will be releasing soon. And there you have it. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment your thoughts down below. Akula Ugnati, good to see you in here. Yeah, I mean, I picked Georgia to beat Notre Dame, and I'll probably pick them to beat Penn State too. Probably. I mean, I do think Penn State's better than Notre Dame. It's not by this wide margin. I may or may not pick Penn State, but I have to at least pick Georgia one time in the playoffs. I've picked against them too many times to a point of almost, I feel like, hypocrisy with how much I preach that coaching matters. So on that front, I will probably also pick Georgia against I'll probably pick Georgia against Penn State unless let's say Penn State completely shuts down Ashton Jeanty. But I don't know. That's just my opinion on certain things. So, hi Sean. How are you doing? Good to see you on here. So, yeah. That's all in this video. I will see you guys soon. Thank you for staying on for this very, very long stream. I appreciate you guys a lot. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get notified when new content from College Football with Sam drops. I appreciate you very much, and also share the video around to others who you know enjoy the sport of college football and love it as I do and as you do, and comment your thoughts down below so that we can have a conversation, because I want to know what you are thinking. And join our Discord server where we talk college football 24/7 via the link in the description or down below in the pinned comment. Thank you to my Heisman Patreon members, Crash2488, Brascal Rascal, and Conlo OH. Thank you to my All-American Patreon members, Chris Lane, Ismar, and Tyler Nye. And thank you to my All-Conference members, John Lynn, Roaming Gnome, Matthew Sale, Austin Christmas, Joshua Jorgensen, and Will Loftus. Make sure to check out my merchandise store and or Patreon page, or super chat down in the comment section below to support the channel. The Patreon page and merchandise store links are in the description or down below in the pinned comment. I hope you have a wonderful day. It is December, so Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year. I will see you guys soon.